Have you ever been driving your car and a song comes on the radio that grabs you by the throat and brings tears to your eyes? Okay, maybe it's just me, I don't know, but if it ever happened to you, it might just be my guest's fault. The Grammy-nominated Newsong's tune Christmas Shoes is one of the most popular modern holiday songs of all times, and it is responsible for many people crying while they're listening to the radio, and I know it's not just me. Guys, thank you so much for coming.
Glad to be here.
Thanks for having me.
Be here with you.
Billy, you sing the song Christmas Shoes. You know, did you ever think that it would be such an incredible breakout hit?
No idea. It was added as an afterthought to a project we were working on, and a decision was made to release it to radio, and the rest is history. It became #1, I think, the quickest of any song. And now we do Christmas tours, we have Christmas CDs, we have Christmas books and movies, everything because of that little shoe song.
Yeah, absolutely. It became a New York Times bestselling novel. It became a top-rated CBS television special. And just in case there's somebody in the universe that doesn't know what this song is, does someone want to just kind of explain the story really briefly, Christmas Shoes?
Well, the man wrote it, so I think that's probably the best.
Well, it's about a little boy that his mother's dying, and he decided to go to the store and buy her some shoes because he wanted his mama to look beautiful. He thought the shoes would do it. So it's that story, and
he doesn't have enough money.
He didn't have the money, and that's the basic thing, and it's obviously it's fairly heart-wrenching.
It is. So it's not just me, right? Okay.
No.
Did you ever cry when you were singing it or writing it or anything?
I don't think so. But,
men don't cry anyway.
I don't think I cried, but like Billy said, it wasn't something we'd really planned on doing. We've been tinkering with that little song idea, and we already had our project we're about to put out recorded, had a meeting about it, and then it came up. How about that Christmas song that you were writing? Could you finish it, and we could still put it on there? And they said, if you can get it done in a week, we still were writing it. We'll put it on there, and then you'll have something to put on the radio for Christmas. So once we finished it, they ended up putting it out really more to mainstream radio, Christian too. But the mainstream is the one that really, in a matter of a couple of weeks, it was #1, and just crazy things. And so now we've had, I think, 8 movies, 4 books.
Wow.
It's just crazy. I was watching television this week, just killing a little time, and back to back on Hallmark was 3 of the movies, right back to back from. So CBS Sunday night movie was a big deal back then, so a lot of people saw that back then.
That's amazing. Was it a story that you heard, or what was the inspiration?
Somebody actually sent me several ideas for songs, a guy that I knew, trying to encourage me. He liked what we were doing and wanted to be an encouragement. So here's some ideas for songs. And that was in there, and I'd had it a year or so or more, and kept going back and looking at all the ones he sent me, but I always that was the one that stuck out to me. So ended up sitting down and writing it over a period of time with a friend of mine who was in the band at the time. So.
It's a beautiful story. Let me tell you, if I ever see a kid in line, there's not enough money for anything for his mom, I'm giving him money, thanks to you. But that's a highlight of an incredible career, 35 years, 19 albums, you can correct me if I'm getting this wrong, 20 #1 singles on Christian radio. You guys have had an amazing run, but one of the things I love about you, and that really struck me, is that you guys have stayed connected to Jesus. You stay connected to your cause and the reason you're doing it. And this industry can kind of eat you alive.
Right.
So I kind of wanted to hear from each one of you, just how you've done that, how you stayed connected. I want to start with you.
Well, in my case, I think it was a very simple commitment I made back in '81 to quit my job and join the group, make the group that got started. God, I'll do this as long as you want me to, and as long as you're showing up and it's obvious that you're using what I'm doing, I'll do everything I can to be a part of it and make it work and sacrifice whatever. And that was the commitment, and 35 years later, it's still the same commitment. And God's never slowed down or given any indication to me, or I think any of us, that he's finished with it. He still uses us, and we still see him work consistently, changing lives and putting families back together. So, I mean, that's just wonderful.
I love that. What about you?
Yeah. Well, it's a great story of God's faithfulness. God called these guys to start it, and I can brag on them because I came in later on, but they stayed faithful to what God called them to at the very beginning. And like Billy says, as long as God keeps showing up, they're going to keep doing it. But for me, I came in 15 years ago as the young guy in the band, and I got married, had kids.
Now he's the older guy in the band.
Now I'm the older guy. But I got married and had kids in this group, and I met my wife because of this group, and I've seen these guys not just be great leaders and pioneers in Christian music, but being great fathers and husbands. So Newsong has kind of become, well, for me, they were role models to me, you know, and I think that's kind of how God is using Newsong in our industry, just how to do this, being away from your families and still keeping God first, and it's a tribute to God's faithfulness to the bands and to our family.
I love that. Eddie, how about you? Like, there's lots of temptations. You get busy. You get lots of people that think, you know, put you on a pedestal, kind of like. There's so many
Not
different.
my wife.
It's always good to have those people, right, that kind of know you. But there's lots of ways that we can get corrupted in public.
Sure. I mean, I think a big thing, and we've written songs about it, is, you know, spending time in the morning. Get up in the morning and make Him the first thing in the morning. Spend some time in the Bible. Spend some time in whatever books you think God's using to encourage you at the time is a big thing. You know, we came out of, you know, Billy and I were in the same church. So this has kind of been from the first concert to now, and we're doing these tours. Winter Jam's the biggest Christian tour in the world, but it still really is just like the tour we did the first time. We went out, sang some songs, we gave a gospel invitation. Hopefully people came to Christ every night, and you know, we had fun and did it again the next night. So we're still doing basically that same thing. It's just a bigger, and it's been a long time since it started, but it's a lot of just carrying that same thing forward.
I love that. Okay, Russ, you are never last, and you are definitely not least, but how have you kept true to
This is
Jesus?
the quietest he's ever been.
Right?
I just want to say.
You'll tell him what he might say.
It's about to start now,
I've
though.
learned so much, though. No. You know, for me, I was an 18-year-old drug dealer from a broken home with a mother who was struggling with mental illness. When I got saved, it was such a radical change in my life, and Christian music played a huge part in my early growth and development. And I was already playing music, but I didn't even know Christian music existed. And so when I became a Christian and started singing in church and singing Christian music, that I actually had purpose behind what I was doing. I just loved being with people that had the same passion. And so 3 months after I got saved, I left college and went on the road. And through the process of all of that, a few years later, I met Eddie and Billy, and we were label mates, actually. And I was singing with another group, and they had a transition in the band, and Eddie called me and said, I think I know a song that you sing, and I heard that you left the group you're in. Would you be interested in traveling with Newsong? And I already loved their music. I loved their songs because they were so relatable, and all their songs were, you know, heart-grabbing songs, and I loved their love for their family. And as I got to know them better, it was just a natural thing for me to get on the bus with them, and the great thing about Newsong is we're all friends. To this day, we pull for each other. We're doing life together. And it's exciting to see how God has blessed and honored, because our passion is really the gospel. Music is just our vehicle. Our passion is the gospel of Jesus Christ, because it changed all of our lives. And God's blessed us so much, so abundantly through that process, that we want to tell other people about what Christ has done. And this is our gift. And so it's our gifting and our calling, and we love doing it together. And we're still as excited about writing the next song as we were about the songs we wrote 15 years ago.
I love that. You guys are having such a great impact, and music has a way of kind of going past your barriers and really just getting to the heart. What have you seen God do? Do you have any stories or anything you've been like, wow, I can't believe God used our music to do that? Anyone?
Well, right, we just got through with and I don't know how familiar you are with Winter Jam, but we just did West Coast Winter Jams, and just seeing, you know, and East Coast as well for that matter, but we do that about 60 times a year. But just seeing in an arena, you know, the gospel shared and people making decisions, we get to see that so visibly. Of course, we get to see it in our other concerts as well, but pretty amazing when you're, you know, 12, 15,000 people sitting there, and you say, okay, if you pray that prayer tonight and you really meant it in your heart, you know, would you stand up and just see hundreds and hundreds of people stand up, and you get to do it and celebrate and going down the road, and so it's amazing.
Well, and I think having people come back to us and stop us and say, hey, I got saved at Winter Jam 6 years ago, or I got saved at your concert 6 years ago. I was just I took a group of teenagers to Dave Ramsey's office, of all places, to do a tour, because my wife and I were teaching a Bible study on financial peace, the foundations of financial peace for our Bible study. And a girl who works for Dave Ramsey came up to me and said, I was at a Newsong concert in Alabama, and you guys were there, and you shared the gospel, and I got saved, and God changed my life, and now I work for Dave Ramsey, and I'm part of this ministry, and we actually never get tired of that. That's fuel for us.
I bet. You know, making great music is one thing that as an artist you always want to do, but man, that eternal value of what you're doing is the thing. And you know, I have to mention Christmas. We started with Christmas. We got to end with Christmas. You guys just released a new Christmas CD, The Best Christmas Ever. It's some old songs, some new songs. You're going on tour. Who are you going with now? You got a great tour organized. Only in the
Yeah,
West.
Matthew West is be out with us, Loving the Outcome, Canadians.
Ah,
Will be with us, and a new band called Reno will be with us. So it'll be fun.
we're a little
we
upset
start
here
there.
that you're not coming here.
Well, we know we called up here and they said no thanks. So
Oh, that did not happen. That did not
we'll
happen.
come next time maybe.
Yeah,
Maybe
well, we're glad
next
you're here
time.
now. And, you know, people watching the
Honored.
show, just so you know, we're going to be playing their songs over the course of this Christmas month. So they're going to get to see it. But we'd love to see you live here sometime.
Well, we'd love to do it. Yeah, Best Christmas Ever. You know, we put out the Christmas Shoes CD that we talked about earlier, that with the Christmas Shoes song 15 years ago. So we're celebrating that. There's a live version of that on this CD. And then we put another one out called The Christmas Hope that goes along with another book and another movie. We did that one a few years after that. And so there's 5 songs from the Christmas Shoes CD, 5 songs from the Christmas Hope CD, our favorites off those 2. And then we wrote 5 new ones. So The Best Christmas Ever, which the title is a brand new song. And so
It's
we like
beautiful.
Christmas.
I've been listening to it. I've been really enjoying it.
Oh, good.
Just really quick now, we have a minute left, but I'm going to try to get each of you to say, just how do you keep Christmas real year after year? It's so commercialized. You're in the music business. It's a whole other thing. But how do you keep it real with your family, with God, celebrating Jesus' birthday? Billy?
In our home, we have all the kids and grandkids come in. There are about 13 or 14 total. And amongst all the chaos and wildness, we always sit down in the great room. Everybody gets their place. And somebody, a grandkid or me or one of the kids, somebody will sit down and read the Christmas story, different versions, maybe different translations in the Bible. One year we had Charlie Brown video played, the little Christmas story.
Love it.
So we stop everything
Wow.
and spend a little bit of time right there, talk about what Christmas is really about, and we pray for the family and for Christmas. And
Beautiful.
then they go back to opening presents.
I want to come over to your house, Matt. How do you do it?
Well, one of the things that we always talk about, my son was born December 21st, and as people know who have Christmas birthdays or that time of year, you kind of get slighted a little bit on the gift giving.
So true.
We decided early on we celebrate his birthday in the summer, and we make the month of December all about Jesus' birthday. So that's really helped my kids and helped us refocus. Just remember, hey, this month is not about Miles' birthday. This is about Jesus' birthday.
I
so
love that.
That's something special we do at
That's
home.
cute. Eddie?
Well, some of those same things Billy said, you know, we definitely do the read the Christmas story verses, and it's getting so, like as Billy said too, that somebody else in the room can do it besides me now. Get different ones to do it, or if they've learned something maybe in kindergarten or school, according to who was there, if they got something to tell, they may have a little thing they've learned to tell. But we do take some time for that for sure.
Love it.
And make sure they know that even though you can't see the tree for all the presents, I promise you this is about Jesus.
Nice. Russ?
Well, we always focus on the Christmas story. We shut everything down and really focus our hearts. And we usually watch the Nativity story, the movie. Now that's kind of become a tradition. But my wife really makes Christmas special at our house. And she has more Christmas decorations than Macy's. They all go up, and everyone in the neighborhood knows it's Christmas because of our house. And so she celebrates with everybody, and that spirit of giving. We buy our neighbors presents. She buys people she doesn't know presents. She just keeps it alive
Can you
at our
introduce
house.
your wife to me? No, just kidding. You know, you guys have made my Christmas special. I'm so glad you could join us. I'm so glad we're going to share your music. Have a great tour. Have a great Christmas.
Thank you so much.
Thanks so much.
Merry Christmas to you.
Thank you.